So before everyone tells me in the comment section to get over it, I am going to preface this by saying that I am not saying that I believe in what I'm about to present to you guys, although some of it does have a little bit of kind of, okay. But I'm presenting it to you to show you why do some fans still believe that there is going to be a secret episode for Stranger Things Season 5 after all this time? And believe it or not, there is a lot of theories going around. I'm going to try to highlight some of those and why some fans are genuinely convinced themselves that this is happening. And again, I'm not saying that I'm back on the train. If you haven't seen the previous videos, check them out, because I kind of laid out my whole progression. The very first one, why I believe that there is going to be a secret episode. And I genuinely did at the time believe that. I thought there was a lot of evidence. And then, after so many things and so much time, I'm like, I don't fully buy it. Okay, there's a sliver of hope in me still, but generally speaking, I don't know. I don't think so. I think the Duffers just dropped the ball in this one, man. But there's some stuff I want to present to you again. Why some fans genuinely believe it, and some of these are outrageous. Some of them might seem a little bit head scratching. You're like, okay, maybe. But let me know in the comments. Do you still believe there's going to be a secret episode? Have you gotten off the train? Were you ever on the train? Maybe you were never even on the train to begin with. Let me know where you stand on this. And if you enjoy this kind of content, stick around for more. And for anyone who's going to say, talk about something else, I did. You just didn't watch it. All right, let's go ahead and jump straight into this. Few different things to talk about. One of the things is, okay, first of all, both, I think, Charlie and Joe Keery, in separate different kind of interviews, were asked about Conformity Gate. And they both thought it was kind of laughable. But one of the things that I seen posted online was someone that pointed out that Joe Keery's attire in this interview, and I'll throw a picture on screen so you can see what the attire looks like. Apparently looks like a card in a game, basically. And the card is the Joker card. And okay, I can see a little bit of resemblance given. I do think this one's a little bit of a stretch, but I can see it. And the idea with this card is that it apparently it's a card sharp that is skilled at tricks and things like that, especially in poker. Anyways, so the whole idea is just like is just kind of like everything's fake, putting on a front, right? Putting on a poker face, if you will. Does it hold credibility? Does it hold water? You tell me. I'm not 100% convinced, but I do see the similarities with that card, and I'm like, okay, maybe, but maybe not. The next one that I've seen people post is they pointed out that during the whole kind of, when they had the pop-up radio with WSKQ, that there was Mindy Flair, which of course is a play on words for Mind Flayer, told us apparently that the song Heroes was a wake-up song, okay? It was kind of the song to wake up to and just different things like that. Now, what's interesting about that is, I mentioned this before, Heroes plays in the credits of episode 8 of Stranger Things Season 5. It also plays when they, again, that's the original version by Bowie that plays, but then the cover version plays when they find Will's body, a fake body, in Season 1, and then again when they think Hopper is dead in Season 3, was it? I believe. Yeah, I think it was Season 3, or was it Season 4? Okay, I'm drawing a blank. Anyways, so a little interesting on that. I did note the weirdness about the Hero song for a different reason in a previous video. Again, check that out. But this, it's an interesting thing to note. I'm not convinced, but I'm not going to completely write that one off either, because I'm like, okay, little interesting. Not going to lie, little interesting. Speaking of WSQK, another person posted this whole thread that they believe that there's going to be apparently 3 more episodes, not just one, but apparently 3 more episodes, and that apparently each broadcast lines up with each episode of Season 5. Okay, there's a playlist made from Stranger Things, Rock and Robin, that's on Spotify. Apparently, it's official from Netflix. I'll throw some screenshots up. This one is from Burrito Glasses on X or Twitter, however you want to call it. And I don't know. Okay, I don't know. This one says WSQK broadcast. All right, the whole kind of thing. Again, apparently it's official from Netflix, and apparently each one corresponds with an episode. Now, if you listen to each one, this person is saying there is a reference to every episode in order. Now, what the person says is that what's interesting is that broadcast number 9 is immediately about Freddy from Ohio. Now, the sort of speculation is this is talking about Freddy Krueger and that whole kind of movie. It's not a documentary, but the whole movie. Which again, there was a theory previously. People were like, oh, maybe they're going to do like, you're going to get partway through this documentary, the Stranger Things one, and they're going to it's going to turn into the secret episode. It didn't happen. So I don't know about this one. This person says that there are 3 extra broadcasts that don't line up with any episodes. Okay, that part maybe has some slight kind of, or maybe slightly weird. I don't know, but I don't think that's anything in and of itself. But then the one that feels a little bit like a stretch is this. They pointed out that in the documentary poster, there's 12 boxes, 8 episodes plus documentary plus 3 more. So there's 3 boxes of pictures in this poster. I guess the idea is like, well, see, there's 3 more episodes. It lines up. I think that's a little bit of a stretch. I'll be completely brutally honest. I think that one's a stretch. I don't think there's anything to that one. The theory beyond that from this burrito glasses person is that it's going to happen on the 18th or the 19th of the month, which is in a couple days. It's always pushing it a little further. Look, I could get on with 2 things, okay? The 7th, I'm like, okay, there's reason to believe the 7th. And then it got pushed a little further. I could buy that one for one reason, because the posts of, the scenes from the episodes leading up to the day of the documentary, and there was that 1-day gap on the 11th. I'm like, maybe the 11th is still, plausible. It didn't happen. At this point, I'm like, look, man, I don't know about this. All right. Like, I just don't think so. But apparently Finn is going to be hosting SNL on January 17th. And the idea is that this burrito person is presenting is that there's going to be this whole thing, right? It's kind of like, thanks for having me on. It's been a pleasure, blah, blah, blah. And then there's going to be the clock charm, and then everything is going to kind of like fade, and there's going to be this whole thing, blah, blah. There's a whole like thing kind of fleshed out. And then like 2 hours later on Netflix, it's going to be like, wake up, Mike. And then we're in the next episode. I don't think so. Okay, man. I think this one was a little bit of a stretch, but moving on. Let's keep this going. Another person I seen post is that Max and Lucas was having a conversation. They were having a conversation in the episode 8, saying, "Oh, we're graduating today." And then the response was, "In 2 hours, I think you're getting ahead of yourself." And so the person's like, I think this is them indirectly telling us that we have 2 more hours of Stranger Things. Look, man, there are certain things that I will give credit and say, okay, that is weird, and maybe that is plausible. This is not one of them. This is just like stretching this point. This is like saying like, hey man, Mike's dad in episode 1, Mike Holly and Nancy's dad, he didn't have any bacon. So that means, and then you come up with some theory, you know what I mean? Like, look, man, there's certain things that are weird. There's certain things like you could be like, maybe there's a connection. I don't think so for this one. But again, this person kind of noted a couple of things. Apparently in the ending, in the credits, I didn't notice this, on the part where you see Sadie Sink, on the left hand side, again, I'll post the picture, it says JK95 on there, and the person is saying that this means just kidding, episode 9, season 5. Okay, I don't think so. I'm not actually sure what the JK95 would stand for. If you guys would have a better idea on that, let me know. But I still don't think like in and of itself that's like, I mean, maybe it's a little weird in that sense, but because the numbers kind of line up and the JK, I'm not convinced. I'm not convinced. There's also the fact that Max at the very end says, that's it, comfort and happiness. Couldn't you be more trite? I thought you were some kind of master storyteller or something. So is that the writers talking about themselves in a way? And it could be them talking about themselves, but it doesn't mean there's a secret episode. It could have just been them like kind of like, poking fun of the fact that like, yeah, they felt like they didn't really fully execute on it. I mean, we've seen some things in the documentary, but I don't know. Your guess is as good as mine. And then there's, of course, there's the classic picture where the book said X is X a lie or whatever. I don't know. I'm not sure about that one, to be completely honest. And then there's the thing that people are posting. Now, again, I think this one, and I said this from the start, to be fair. If you go watch my previous videos, I pointed this out and I said, I don't think this one is anything. But in the final credits, you see the Stranger Things manual and you see the 7, right? The D&D dice that's a 7. And then from season 1, I pointed out that, Will says to Mike that it was a 7, right? He rolled a 7. And so that means the Demogorgon got him. 7 is usually indicating that you lose. Now, there's two different things about this. Number one is it's just simply a callback to season 1. Okay, that's all it is. The second thing is that it's potentially just indicating that, yeah, Vecna won, but it's something that you see not on screen, but in your imagination, right? You kind of know. So it's kind of like one of those things where it's like the people who are paying close attention will know, not that there's a secret episode, but that Vecna did actually win, and that the whole thing, that like all this, like my thing is this. I think the theory is right. I think all the theory is right that Vecna wins. I just don't think it necessarily means that there's a secret episode. And that's my point. This could be hinting that the fact that, yeah, they actually lost. And what you've seen is just sort of like a fake happy ending. But again, we're not going to see the follow-up on screen. We're not going to get a secret episode that necessarily shows us that. So that could be true as well. That they put all some of these things could have been very much intentional. Right? A couple other things to kind of note, because very interesting. So in the shadow play, so the first shadow play, apparently, I can't confirm this because I have no way to see the play. So you guys can let me know if this is right or wrong. I'm just going to read it. Apparently in there, again, if you don't know, it's a Broadway show. Joyce says, and that's why I'm doing a secret play, which we will only reveal on opening night. Is it risky? Yes, but if we pull this off, this will change everything. So again, that has been something that you probably already heard about. And it's very interesting because that in and of itself, I would say like, okay, that's a little weird. Maybe it's related, maybe not. I don't know. It does have some reason to make you kind of think maybe that's pointing at something. But again, I don't know. People also mentioned the fact that Kate, the writer of the first Shadow, said that the Duffers don't have any poker faces. And there's that clip, I'm sure you guys have seen it by now, that asks about like multiple endings, and they're like, oh, like where would people even get the energy to do all that? And it does look a little sus. I'll be honest, but I don't know. It's worth mentioning, but I'm not going to put too much weight into it. The other thing that is really weird is the fact that apparently the Duffer said they did not, and the cast in general said they don't want to make the same mistake that Game of Thrones did. And apparently they fought, again, I didn't see the ending of Game of Thrones, so you guys can let me know in the comments. But apparently it was pretty, it almost followed that pattern pretty closely. That, Game of Thrones, they beat the main antagonists way too easily. Stranger Things final battle, again, we all felt that was way too smooth and easy. Weapons that apparently previously couldn't harm, dragons in that movie, just like the bullets, suddenly started harming the demodogs and stuff. And there's all these different things that were pointed out. Maybe not. There's quite a few different things. Like, it's weird, right? It's really weird, that there are a lot of parallels to the fact that they say we don't want to do the same mistake, and then they make very similar mistakes. So I don't know. In that sense, it's kind of weird. But there's one theme that I notice, and I'm going to get roasted for saying this. I know I'm going to get roasted, but I got to point it out. There's one theme I noticed from a lot of the people that are still hanging on to the idea of a secret episode. Before, there was a variety of different people that believed in a secret episode. But at this point, the majority that I see are people that are from the Byler group. Okay. And I think at this point, it's just like this really, really unhealthy desperation for this like kind of twisted romance that never happened, that these group of people like so desperately wanted, that they kind of like focused so much energy into. I would imagine there are some that for the entirety of the show, or for most of the seasons, that was kind of like their main thing, kind of going in, and they were like, oh, this has got to happen, and instead of just like, Like that was their focal point, I guess, is what I'm trying to say. So I'm just saying that's a little concerning. We're all entitled to our own opinions on these things and thoughts, but I do think that it's interesting that most of the people still holding on to it, again, maybe not all, but most are from that core group, and just a lot of people that just are so desperate for that kind of, sort of almost like a twisted fantasy at this point to come to fruition, and the fact that it didn't. It's like, look, it's unhealthy. Okay, I'm serious. Like I know it's just a show, but having so much energy and desperation into those kind of ideologies is not good. But you're free to disagree. But the point being is that I just think that's a little sus. All in all, I think it's not happening. If it does happen, great. The secret episode, that is. If a secret episode does happen, great. I'd be stoked. But at this point, I don't think it's happening. I think you gotta let it go. Okay, especially if it's for the wrong reasons. On top of that, there's some weird stuff. I'll admit there's some weird stuff. And if a secret episode happened, I'd be really excited. And if anything, comes out that's really weird, that I'm like, what's up with that? Maybe I would reconsider. But as this point, just stop it. Okay. All right. It's over. It's over. Why are you still here? It's over. Go home. Go home. Okay. Thanks for watching. Appreciate you guys. You're still here. What are you doing? It's over. There's nothing left to see. Go home. Your family must miss you. I don't know. Go outside. Breathe in some fresh air. Good for the lungs, they say. I mean, I wouldn't know because I don't have any, but you do. You want to know about the next one. Okay? Well, I can't tell you anything about that right now. But here's the thing. If you stick around, you just might find out. Okay? All right. It's okay. It's fine. I'll see you in the next one. Go on. Get. See you later.